Hi, welcome to Inkscape for Physics Teachers. What you're looking at here is an Inkscape file that I've created with several electronic components that might be of use to, say, VCE physics teachers. Now, I'm not going to show you how I drew these individual ones in this video, but I am going to show you how you can use this file, which I'll leave a link for in the description. Now, the first thing that is probably useful, even if it's a new Inkscape file, not this one, and you're constructing a circuit, is to go view page grid. I've set up a 5mm page grid because most of these components are multiples of 5mm in their dimensions. Now, if you need to set up a grid under document properties here, you might need to choose new rectangular grid and set these X and Y spacings to 5mm. I've already done that, obviously. Now let's say that I wanted a circuit that contained this power supply. I've grouped all these bits and pieces, so while there are several segments here, it's in one group, so I can just click it once. Then shift click to select other things, for example a lamp, a resistor, a switch, an ammeter, a voltmeter, and Control C, so I leave the originals in place. And then go to another file or another area and Control V. Let's move these across a bit so I can see them all. There they are. Now the key is to try and get them onto grid squares. If I zoom in on this power supply, you can see then I actually got it snapping in the middle of that top vertical segment. If you click closer to the end and then drag, you'll get it to snap to the grid square. You've got to have grid square snapping on here and the master control switch for all snapping on there. Zoom out a bit. And let's say that I wanted an ammeter next, up there. Actually that's snapping pretty well anyway, so I don't have to adjust that position. Perhaps a resistor. It might be that I need to rotate that, so I use one of the rotation tools up here, and you see it's not snapping where I want it. Zoom in and just drag close to the bit you want to snap, and there it is. You can turn all snapping off and just drag it by eye. It's one option, but I usually prefer things to snap. Let's now put a globe in here, perhaps. If I get it to snap, again close to the end, if you're having trouble, and that's okay. I might want to switch in there, and you see it's not on a grid line, so I'll move it closer. There it is. You can see this is all a bit out of whack, so I can either move all this or move the power supply. I might prefer to have that, say, here. And yeah, I'll drag the voltmeter across the resistor, say. I'll leave it there for the moment. And yeah, I think I'll just join that up now. Now how we join it up is using the Bezier pen tool, or B to select that. And I'm going to click the first part I want to join to, click on a corner, click at the end and press enter when you're finished. Now notice my stroke was the same width as these, which is 0.5 of a millimetre. If yours isn't, you can double click on the stroke tool and say take from selection. That's after first selecting something that you like the stroke of, and then all future strokes will copy that one stroke, but I've already done that. Next step is to join up the rest of the circuit. Let's say go from there, perhaps down to there, click, again clicking at all the corners, clicking at the end and pressing enter when finished. You can see there I've got a reasonable circuit. Not happy about this bit, so what I can do is I can turn off snap to grid. I'll leave on snap to paths, which is that one, and snap to cusp nodes, and see if I can drag that around. There's a better snapping position, and I'll leave it at that. Again, you can turn off all snapping and just drag it to where you want, visually if you like. Now, one thing that sometimes happens is that you might have a multiple of 5mm, or you need to drag to a position that's not on a grid square. Let me just delete, let's see that line. If I delete that, yep, and let's show you how you can put a a line anywhere. Again with the Bezier pen tool. I've turned off grid snapping, but I'll leave that off. I can click there. I could go anywhere I like. You know, do all sorts of crazy things. Click and enter. And if you then needed to change the position of corners, you can press N for the node tool and select it again if it's not selected. Then you can pick a particular node and you can drag it anywhere you want. Again, if you want to snap to grid squares, turn that snapping back on there, and you can sort of tidy things up if you need to. And I can drag that down to there and so forth. I might have to put in another segment, but that's easy enough to do. I'll do that now. B for the Bezier pen tool, click, click and enter, and there we have it. If you want to be really fussy and you don't like, you can see this corner here is quite sharp, but this one here is not because I use individual components. What you can do is you can control click and control shift click, both of those, and then N for the node tool and drag around that where there are actually two nodes underneath each other, or one on top of the other, and click join selected nodes, and you can join a corner up there. I had to control click because I just wanted this part of the globe, I didn't want the circle. So control picks a bit within a group, and let's see, oh, I've already joined it. That's why I was wondering why I couldn't select that bit, but it's been joined to the longer bit. Just to show you once more, say I wanted the square out of the resistor. If I just click that and drag it, I get the whole lot, so Control Z. I just wanted the square, control click, and you can see then I've got the square. But yeah, N for node tool after you've selected a bit, and it will allow you, I'll do it again here, to see the corners, and then you can drag them around, whatever you want to do. Okay, once you're ready to drop that into a Word document, you can drag a marquee around the whole lot. I like to group it, Control G to group it as one object. This means you're not likely to miss a bit, leave it behind. Then Control C, and then open up Word. I'll click Word, I'll just pause the video. Now we're back, Word is opened up, and I can go Control V to paste that circuit into Word, and there it is. You see I can't drag it. You actually see that line at the bottom. Oh, it just depends on the magnification, I think. Yep. But I can't drag it, but if I click on it, you get the options, whether it's in line with text or in front of text or floating, whatever, or you can right click and go wrap text, and in front of text, for example, just means you can drag it anywhere on the page, and sometimes doing that can actually refresh the diagram, make it look a bit better. If I zoom right in Word, you can see that the vector graphics maintains its sharpness, and you can continue to type around it. Now if I press enter, or if I click on the diagram, you can see this little anchor. That diagram is anchored to this paragraph. That means wherever this paragraph is, the drawing will stay in the same position in relation to that. So I press enter, I'm pushing things down. Again, if I click on the diagram, so the anchor's moved down. If you don't want that to happen, you can just drag the anchor it to different paragraphs, so then if you alter other ones, the diagram stays, and you can then continue to type, you know, text as you need it around the diagram. Anyway, go back to Inkscape, and I'll leave a link to this file, as I said before, so that you can download this and use it to construct circuits that might be of help to you in constructing physics worksheets or tests or notes. As always, thanks very much for watching.